9:2. The requirement to spread out over the earth is evident by the words increase greatly on the earth and multiply in it. Readers might presume from Genesis 10 that the sons of Noah and their descendants obeyed God's reiteration of the Edenic mandate. It is clear that the nations listed in that chapter result from the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, born after the flood. But the story of the Tower of Babel directs us to a different conclusion. It is in Genesis 11, 1-9, that we learn how the descendants of the sons of Noah were made to obey God's will. Now the whole earth had one language and the same words. And as people migrated from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and settled there. And they said to each other, Come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and they had tar for mortar. And they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top reaches to the heavens. And let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered over the face of the whole earth. Then Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower that humankind was building. And Yahweh said, Behold, they are one people with one language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do. So now nothing that they intend to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language there, so that they will not understand each other's language. So Yahweh scattered them from there over the face of the whole earth, and they stopped building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel. For there Yahweh confused the language of the whole earth, and there Yahweh scattered them over the face of the whole earth. As in Genesis 1, 26-27, the episode at the place that would become known as Babel included the members of the heavenly host, the divine council. In Genesis 11:7, Yahweh exhorts, Let us go down and confuse their language there. Again, in concert with Genesis 1:27, the declaration to the host is followed by the swift judgment of Yahweh alone. So Yahweh scattered them. The grammatical features in combination connect the two scenes. Miller notes in this regard, as in Genesis 3:22, the building of the tower at Babel is a sin against God as an effort to move into the divine world, the divine domain. The threatened loss of creature limits leads in both instances to the judging activity of God. In its judgment speech, Genesis 11, like 3:22, reflects a decree within the assembly to create human disorder for the sake of cosmic order, the confusion among humankind to inhibit the breakdown of the orderly relations between divine and human worlds. But the Genesis account is only part of the Old Testament theology of the judgment at Babel. There is more to the scattering of humanity and the emergence of the nations. Deuteronomy 32, 8-9 adds crucial details. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he divided mankind, he fixed the borders of the peoples according to the number of the sons of God. But the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob his allotted heritage. Many English translations will read, according to the number of the sons of Israel, in verse 8, in place of according to the number of the sons of God. The difference arises from divergent manuscript readings. The Dead Sea Scrolls demonstrate conclusively that sons of God is the correct reading, and that the traditional Hebrew text, the Masoretic text, was altered, most likely because of a scribal concern about divine plurality. This textual issue and its implications are well known to Old Testament scholars. For example, in his Deuteronomy commentary, Geoffrey Tegay notes, The idea stated in the variant reading, that the number of nations equals the number of sons of the divine, suggests that each of these beings is paired with a nation. Jewish sources of the Hellenistic and Talmudic periods elaborate on this picture, indicating that God appointed divine beings to govern the nations on his behalf. Ben Sira paraphrases our passage as follows, In dividing up the peoples of all the world, over every people he appointed a ruler, but the Lord's portion is Israel.